Well, it is the 11th of July 2025. We welcome you to Uganda Catholic Television. My name is Joseph Kabaale, taking you through the stories we gathered from both within Uganda and abroad. Starting from our local scene, the Archbishop of Kampala, the Most Reverend Paul Ssemogerere, has called on Catholics to draw inspiration from the Uganda Martyrs by dedicating both their lives and professional conduct to God. Speaking during a Eucharistic celebration marking the 11th anniversary of Mapeera Chaplaincy in Kampala, the Archbishop urged the faithful, especially those working in the banking sector, to uphold Christian values by rejecting unethical behaviors such as fraud, abortion, and dishonesty. Earlier today, the Catholic community of Centenary Banker Group, under the umbrella body Uganda Martyrs Mapeera Chaplaincy, gathered at the banker's head office chapel in the heart of Kampala to mark the chaplaincy's 13th anniversary, while also paying tribute to the Uganda Martyrs, the icons of unwavering faith and sacrifice. The celebration is featured an Eucharistic Mass presided over by the Archbishop of Kampala, the Most Reverend Paul Ssemogerere. In his homily, the Archbishop commended the Catholic staff at the bank for regularly using the chapel at their headquarters, noting that this practice has not only deepened their relationship with God, but also exemplified their love for God and commitment to their work with humility.
I would like to thank you. I'm very much impressed because of your faith. When you have a chapel, designed by the architects and the leaders, that we should have a chapel here, but you can have one and nobody is there to pray. Some churches in Europe and America, they're beautiful churches, but they're for tourism. Nobody prays. Even when you go to pray, people are not praying. They're looking at pictures and taking photographs and posing with the Archbishop.
The Archbishop further urged them to draw inspiration from the Uganda Martyrs, emphasizing the need for moral renewal in a society where values are declining, despite the presence of the gospel.
Emulating our Uganda Martyrs, because they are so effective as people, men of faith, to the point of losing or shedding their life for the sake of Jesus Christ. So emulate them. I don't want you to go to be martyred.
Meanwhile, Centenary Bankers Managing Director Fabian Kasi demonstrated the bankers' commitment to supporting the church's activities with a significant contribution of Uganda shillings 100 million. The donation aims to support the upcoming celebrations marking the 100th consecration anniversary of Lubaga Cathedral in October.
I know in the efforts to mobilize resources, yesterday when we spoke, I told you that as a group, we'll be contributing 50 million Uganda shillings. But by early this morning, things have changed. Things have changed, and I want to inform you that the CEO of the Sente technology company, Centetech, his company will also contributing 20 million. And also the foundation will also be contributing another 10 million, again towards the efforts. And our Service Christo has already mentioned the contribution of 5 million as a collection from the staff. And we have a total contribution from the entire Center family of 100 million to celebrate 100 years.
On 19th of last month, the Archbishop launched a fundraising campaign seeking over 2 billion Uganda shillings to facilitate a series of activities leading to the commemoration of the 100th consecration anniversary of Lubaga Cathedral. Of this amount, 1.4 billion shillings is committed to the renovation of the church to give it a new face, the construction of a parking lot, which is already underway, and liturgical preparations. The Uganda Cancer Institute has raised an alarm over the rising incidence of esophageal cancer, now ranked as the 5th most common and the 2nd deadliest form of cancer in Uganda. According to health experts, the surge is largely driven by risk factors such as excessive consumption of alcohol, tobacco use, unhealthy diets, and prolonged exposure to smoke from traditional cooking methods, particularly from rural areas where firewood remains a primary energy source. The Uganda Cancer Institute is now advocating for urgent investment in diagnostic infrastructure, increased public awareness, and widespread promotion of healthy lifestyle changes to reverse the deadly trend.
Many of the things that cause diseases are not under direct control of the Ministry of Health. Some fall under different ministries. This is why in our call to action here, we are saying we call upon the public. We are calling upon the policymakers. We are calling upon you in the media fraternity that we work together. The policymakers here can be not only policymakers in Ministry of Health. It could be policymakers in the Ministry of Energy, who is hearing that people are using firewood as a source of cooking, which is no longer a method of cooking in other countries outside Africa, because many African countries still use the same. But I think should be able to do deliberate action to that. As I speak now, I'm not speaking for Ministry of Energy, but Ministry of Energy already rolling down clean energy in their project. When you read about some of their intervention, they are promoting access to clean energy. But they recently discounted the cost of access to gas for cooking, except what we call discounted may not still be attractive to certain level of economic status in our rural area. This is what they need to rethink, to how can we expand that. Even expansion of electricity across the country are ways of expanding access to clean energy.
But I want to let you know that cancer services are actually free at the Uganda Cancer Institute, unless you ask for an exclusive service, which we call private service. That one can also be provided to you. But in as far as the standard and the treatment and the protocols are concerned, it will be exactly the same as that for any ordinary Ugandan who present to the Uganda Cancer Institute. The biggest challenge is actually getting to the institute itself, because the institute, as you know it, most of our services are still based here in Kampala. That makes it difficult for some of our population to access it. For instance, if you have a patient somewhere in Arua or somewhere in Karamoja who is diagnosed with cancer, coming to Kampala to access the service which is there becomes a problem.
The Inspector General of Government, Betty Olive Namisango Kamya, has officially confirmed her re-application for contract renewal ahead of the expiry of her current term in September 2025. Speaking at the Uganda Media Center, Kamya expressed her readiness to continue the fight against corruption while citing underfunding as a major challenge impeding the IGG's office. Her deputies, Dr. Patricia Achan Okiria and Annette Mugisha Muhaire, whose contracts are also nearing expiration, are expected to follow suit.
True, my contract is almost ending in a couple of months, but I have applied for renewal. So I will keep my fingers crossed and until we get to that point. You know, a war does not end in a day or two. Those who are familiar with the Bible and the Quran, you know that corruption is mentioned. Those are thousands of years. In fact, since humanity, corruption has been a part of humanity, but communities fight corruption with different levels of success. And with Uganda, I will say that we shouldn't say that we have failed, but we are on the journey. And the strategies that we have mapped, I am so sure that they will bring corruption down, especially the strategy of raising the consciousness of the public that it is not acceptable and that it hurts them. Largely, people are hiding behind the public's ignorance and mindset. That's where people were hiding. But with increased awareness, there will be no more place to hide. But the public also have to learn to say no, because corruption, it takes two to tango, the one who gives and the one who gets. The one who sits and makes a deal, and there are always two. So you cannot successfully fight corruption unless the public who hides, who give a screen for people to hide behind them, are aware and have come. That's why, and have come out. That's why we came out to say, the public stop condoning corruption and providing a screen where the corrupt hide behind you. So I think that we are on a very good roadmap in fighting corruption. But it's also true that we are largely underfunded. Of the budget that we get, 80% of the budget works on statutory expenditure and operational expenditure, salaries, NSSF, pay as you earn, electricity, water. That takes up 80% of our budget, and we are left with only 20% to actually do the work. So underfunding and under-resourced is a very big impediment to our work.
We thank you so much for watching Uganda Catholic Television. UCTV News takes a short break and we'll be back.
UCTV, good news for all. Radio Patches, the best value-based community radio in Eastern Africa, running 24/7 with professional staff and solar energy backup of up to 500 kilowatts peak. We rock the whole of northern Uganda and the world using 7 languages on 90.9 FM and 94.5 FM in Arua on Ediofe Hill, 99.7 FM at Moyo on Adua Hill, 101.4 FM at For God in Gulu, and online at www.radiopatches.org or download the Radio Patches app from Google Play Store and Apple Store. Radio Patches, peace of Christ for all.
We thank you so much for watching UCTV News. It is time for Today in History. With that marks the end of our newscast night. We thank you for watching UCTV News and we request you to follow us on our social media handles for more of these detailed news updates. I remain Joseph Kabaale, wishing you the best of your weekend.